Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to essentially make 5 observations about the Biden-Trump debate that we saw last night. It was a disaster, a train wreck, and those are not my observations. The 5 observations, I will spell them out as I make them. But it was disaster. It was a shameful moment in American political history. Is this what America has to offer for the future generations? Joe Biden or Donald Trump? It's pathetic. We have absolutely disastrous choices. I mean, it's like a lose-lose option for America, truly. So basically, I have 5 observations and 5 questions for the Democratic Party. As someone who has never voted for anybody other than Democrats, uh, I really don't know what to do come November. I really don't know. Is it safe to hand over the country to Joe Biden, who can't even put together 2 sentences uh, in a debate that is going to decide the future of this country? I I am totally flummoxed and also very deeply disappointed by what I saw last night. But before I get into the details of the debate, please subscribe to Khanversations if you have not already done so. Like this video, press the bell icon, and do share it with your socio-political network after you watch it. I shared my thoughts on BBC Hindi about the debate, and I have shared that link on the community side of the channel, and I will also uh, put the link in the description of this video. So if you want to hear my Hindi interview on BBC about the debate, you can hear it there. So the first thing that I want to point out is that a lot of us Democrats were afraid of this. He did do well in the State of the Union address. He did better than expected, but the bar was very low. So we thought, oh my God, that's not really bad. And if he can perform at this level in the debates later on, maybe he's fit to govern. But already, I mean, there were polling that suggested that more than 45% of Democrats felt that the Democratic Party should offer an alternative to Joe Biden. So the biggest fear and the biggest test for Joe Biden was to prove that he's fit to govern. That these accusations that he is suffering from cognitive decline, etc., are not true. And in the 90 minutes that he was up there, every second, every minute, he proved that he was not fit to be president. He should retire. So the first thing that, perhaps the only thing that Joe Biden needed to accomplish, he failed. The flash poll, and this is my second observation, this is essentially a reference to how the country has reacted, at least those who saw the debate. CNN conducted a flash poll, and according to that, 67% of Americans felt that Donald Trump had won the debate, and only 33% of Americans felt that Biden had won the debate. I really, really admire the loyalty, the party loyalty of these 33% people who think that Biden won the debate. Trump was clearly more alert. He performed significantly better. He lied often, but that's Trump. In fact, he was quite compassionate towards Biden. There were moments where Biden was just mumbling and jumbling. It was not clear what he was trying to say. And it was amazing to watch Trump not make fun of him or criticize him, but just watch him. And the only thing that he did at one point was that I did not understand what he said at the end of the sentence. I also think that perhaps he also does not know what he said. Something to that effect was the only time where he highlighted the cognitive decline of Joe Biden. So while Trump was Trump, Biden was not Biden. There are those who love Biden apparently, and even they say that this was the worst political moment in Biden's life. His long 50 plus years in politics is perhaps the worst moment. In fact, I think the Democrats and his family members who are not telling him to step down are actually being cruel to him, exposing him at this stage in his life to political rigor, I think is cruel to him and unfair to the country. Democrats' biggest issue in this election going forward is abortion. And you know what? On the abortion issue, Trump came across as a moderate, and Joe Biden was not even able to clarify what his policy on abortion is. He lacked clarity, he lacked focus, and he kept mumbling. The GOP's strongest issue in this election is illegal immigration and border security, and Trump kept pivoting back to it again and again and again. I mean, that's what debates are all about. So, whether you are for Trump or Biden, the one conclusion that you can take away from this debate is Trump was Trump. Trump 2024 is no different from Trump 2016, 2020. In fact, he was a bit more mellow, whereas Biden is certainly not Biden. There was this moment where Biden said that, that we have defeated or demolished Medicare, when he wanted to say that we have finally defeated Big Pharma. And Trump jumped on it and says, yes, you destroyed Medicare by allowing so many people across the border to come in, and you have basically strained the system. I mean, that showed that Trump was still agile mentally and was able to take advantage of Biden's gaffes. And so that is perhaps the thing that is going to make the biggest difference as young people who are not committed to democracy, Democratic Party, who are not committed to the foreign agendas that Biden has, those who are not worried about Ukraine or Israel, but are worried about America. For them, Biden looks like an absolutely wrong option, wrong choice as president. If the man is incoherent, if the man can't think, he looks continuously confused. And yes, he has always been inarticulate, and we know all his history with stammering, but that's not what I'm pointing out to. He looked like a deer caught in headlights. Often, if you look at his face, it seemed that he was unable to comprehend what was happening around him, and that is the scary part. And even on the foreign policy issue, when Trump said that under Joe Biden, the whole world is blowing up, basically, which is true. We have a massive 2-year-old war going on in Ukraine. We have another massive war in the Middle East. The United States is deeply involved in both the wars. There are all these attempts to start another one with Iran. And then the US is now deeply involved in conflict with China. I mean, this is really a complete chaos in the international relations. And for those who, whether they understand the nitty-gritty and the intricacies of global politics or not, they know that the world at the moment is a mess, starting with Joe Biden's extremely, shall we say, humiliating and badly managed departure from Afghanistan to what's happening in Europe and the Middle East today. The world is neither safe nor secure, and neither is the rule-based order functioning. And Biden, who spent his entire life being a foreign policy expert, could neither make winning points nor could he give a proper answer to that question. That was where he could have shown why he is better than Trump, and he fell. So I do also want to say that there are people around Biden who have been telling us that no, there's nothing wrong with him, especially after the Wall Street Journal article came out saying that he's not all there. They've been saying that no, he's very good. Even some Republicans went on to say no, that he's very sharp. I think the Republicans are saying very sharp because they want him to compete and debate with Donald Trump and expose himself. But the Democrats, especially people who are like Anthony Blinken and Jake Sullivan and Kamala Harris, who see him every day, are they not able to realize that he would completely fail? He's been apparently practicing and preparing for one whole week in Camp David, and he has memorized lines and he memorized statistics. and he was not able to deliver. Maybe they practiced so much that he got tired. I don't know, whatever it is, but the Democrats around him, I think, are not should not be trusted anymore because they've been lying to the country about the state of Joe Biden's mental fitness to be president. I have 5 questions to the Democratic Party and to Joe Biden himself. Number one, will he withdraw? Senior members of the Democratic Party, senior journalists, donors, etc., apparently are worried, and somebody is apparently going to go and talk to him. Others are going to make these statements publicly asking Joe Biden to withdraw, while also conceding that they think Joe Biden is very stubborn and will not withdraw. So the question number one for Joe Biden is, will you withdraw, Mr. Biden? If you think that America's democracy at stake, and if you think that Donald Trump becoming president will end American democracy, then don't you think you should withdraw? I mean, if you look at Trump's performance in the debate, there was nothing extraordinary. He just looked good because he was standing next to Joe Biden. Imagine if he was debating Newsom from California or the New Jersey senator. I mean, I don't want to name alternatives, so I'm hesitant to name any of them. I leave it to the party to decide. But there are at least 20 Democrats out there who would beat Trump in the debate, at least, who would have outperformed him. Even Kamala Harris, I think, would have done better. So the first question to Joe Biden is, will you withdraw? In the interest of democracy and in the interest of keeping America safe from Donald Trump. My second question is, this is to the Democrats, do you really think he can recover from this? Is there going to be a second debate in September when he will be 2 months older than this? Aren't you all going to be demoralized by what happened last night? Isn't Joe Biden going to be demoralized by what happened? Do you think he'll be able to pick himself up and give an adequate performance in September? Where do you think the public mood is going to be? Nearly 60% or more of Americans think that the country is going in the wrong direction. The approval rating of Joe Biden is, I think, in the difference between approval and disapproval is reaching close to 20%. I mean, the polling, nearly in every poll, Donald Trump is leading. And after this debate performance, I think the margins are going to increase. Can Joe Biden recover from this performance? My third question for the Democratic Party is, if it is not Joe Biden who withdraws, then who will replace? Is it going to be Kamala Harris? Do Democrats have a plan B? Let me tell you this, Kamala Harris is less popular than Joe Biden. She might do well in the debate in September if she replaces Joe Biden, but I don't think she's going to win at all. A lot of people just simply stay at home. She's not a magnet for the Democrats. There's nothing exciting about her. She didn't do well when she ran for president, and she's done nothing as vice president. I can't think of one single thing that Kamala Harris has done that would tell me that she'll make a good president. If not Joe Biden, then who? My fourth question is for Americans, especially the Democrats. Are you truly so afraid of Donald Trump and so afraid that he will destroy democracy, go after his political opponents, make his second term as a term of retribution, basically not only demolish democratic institutions at home, but destroy allies and American alliances overseas, destroy the global economy, the free market nature of the global economy, get into basically trade wars with China, and so on and so forth. Are you so afraid of Donald Trump that you're going to vote for anybody to defeat him? Remember that many of the things that Trump did, Joe Biden has continued as far as foreign policy is concerned. There's no difference in Joe Biden's foreign policy in the Middle East and Donald Trump's. Actually, on the issue of foreign policy, Trump said that Biden was not supporting Israel enough, and he was like a Palestinian, and he was not even a good Palestinian. But literally, Biden's policies are no different from Donald Trump's when it comes to the Middle East. And his Indo-Pacific strategy is very similar. And he continued on an economic front. He continued with all the tariffs and increased those tariffs that Trump had initiated against China. The only area I think is difference is that Biden is willing to spend billions and billions of dollars for other countries. Trump is not. Trump made an interesting point saying every time Zelensky came to the United States, Biden gave him $60 billion. Biden could not even answer that question. That is where he could have sold his war as to why defending Ukraine with everything that America has got and risking a nuclear war with Russia is worth it. That could have been his great moment, but he failed. So this is a question for Americans that, look, we'll vote for anybody but Trump, at least for the Democrats. We will know in November. I'm persuaded that young people are not excited by Joe Biden. They are not excited by his politics. They're not excited by his domestic agenda, and they certainly do not support his foreign policy. They think he's a genocidal warmonger. So young people are definitely not going to show up if Joe Biden is on the ticket. You can take, I'm willing to bet on that. And then finally, this last question, which is a very serious question. Given the state in which Joe Biden is, I'm really, really worried as to who is running the country now. Who is running the country? Is it Blinken who's running this country? Is it Jake Sullivan? Who is making the decisions? This man cannot put together two sentences without mumbling, without losing his train of thought. I mean, that section where he ended by talking about Medicaid instead of big pharma, it was ridiculous. Just listen to that part.
Strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
How can this man be ruling this country? It's very scary. Is he fit to govern now? Forget about running for office and winning. We still have him in office till January. 6 more months. Can we trust America in the hands of this man? That is my last question. Just very, very depressing, as you can see from how I am reacting to this. And I think everybody in America needs to be worried. We have two terrible, terrible options. Both will lead us to disaster. On this depressing note, please subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share it with your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Let me also say, for those who are watching and are interested in the Hindi part of it, I shared my thoughts on BBC Hindi about the debate, and I have shared that link on the community side of the channel, and I will also put the link in the description of this video. So if you want to hear my Hindi interview on BBC about the debate. You can hear it there. Take care. Bye.